Hey clarinets! So today what we're going to do is learn the clarinet hand position on how to hold our clarinet correctly. So what you're going to need to do is have your whole clarinet together, but as you notice I've got my mouthpiece case on, I got my mouthpiece protector on, and I don't have my reed on because we're not going to need the reed right now. We just want to make sure that we're not breaking our reed, so it's okay to keep your Darth Vader helmet right over top of your mouthpiece for this. What we're going to talk about is our hands, okay, and that hand position for our instrument. If you have a tennis ball at home, or maybe an apple, if you ask your mom or dad if you can use one, would be a really good example. So I've got my apple. One of the big things on clarinet with the hand position, so we want to try to make C's with our hand as much as we can. So we've got like a C and we've got a C, okay? One of these is going to obviously look like a backwards C, but when we have both of them, they look like this. So we've got our hands and they're nice and round, as you can see. What we need to do is have that shape and put it towards our clarinet. So if you have an apple or you have a tennis ball, you can go ahead and hold that, and what you'll notice it's going to make a perfect clarinet hand position just by naturally holding that ball, right? So just by naturally holding it, you're going to already make that, that perfect hand position that you need for clarinet. Now, when you take your clarinet, we're going to remember that hand position and try to take it and put it on the clarinet. What you've got is a whole lot of keys. As you can see, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? What we're going to do is start off with our left hand. This is our left hand. Our left hand actually goes on top of the clarinet, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to see right here in the back, there's a hole there too. The thumb is going to cover that hole. Now it needs to be turned in just a way that you can put your other fingers down, but two, later on we're going to actually use this key. You're going to actually have to cover that hole and push that key at the same time. Now we're not going to talk about that for a little while, but just know that it's there so that when we get there you know, oh yeah, that's right, that's why I needed to have my thumb position in that certain way. Now with your other hand, or I'm sorry, not other hand, with the other side of your hand, your fingers, right, we've got 1, 2, 3, and your pinky is going to float right here. We're not going to push this key down, but we're just going to keep it right there for now. What we're going to do is have that perfect C shape with our hand. As you can see, I've got my C shape right there, just like I was holding my apple. And when we do this, we are going to use the fatty part of our fingers. As you can see, we got this fatty part here, here, and here. If we use the absolute tips of our fingers, we're not going to cover the holes all the way. So when I'm doing this, I've got the fatty part of my fingers. Now check this out. When I'm playing clarinet, if I don't cover the holes all the way and it looks like this, look at my middle finger. Do you see that right there? Do you see how it's not covering all the way? It's actually going to make this really awful squeak noise. It's going to squeak really, really, really loud, and nobody's going to want to hear that. Your dog's not going to want to hear it, and your mom's not going to want to hear it, okay? And you're not going to want to hear it. That squeak is really, really loud. So instead of using the very tips of our fingers, because if you notice, and I have pretty fat fingers, right? If I try to do just the tips, I don't cover the holes all the way. Instead, I'm going to use that fatty part of my fingers, and I'm going to hold it so I can cover it all the way down. That's going to help a lot. All right, and when you take your fingers off, you should see a little circle right there. That means that you covered it all the way, which is good, okay? When you take off your fingers. Now, we've got thumb in the back, and we call this 1, 2, 3, and now that pinky is going to chill right there. Now, your right hand, we have this little guy right here in the back. Do you guys see this? On the back side of your clarinet, this is called the thumb rest. It's exactly as what you think it is. With your right hand, that thumb is going to chill right there. He's going to chill over underneath that thumb rest in the back, and he's going to bring his hands around just like we had the apple. We're going to have that C shape, and we're going to bring it over, and we're going to go 4, 5, 6. I'm sorry, you couldn't see it right there. So your fingers come over, right hand 4, 5, 6, and the pinky is going to just chill on this one. It's not going to push it down, but it's ready to be used if we need to, okay? So we got pinky here, and we got pinky here. All right? So I want to show you again. We've got thumb in the back, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're using the fatty part of our fingers, that fatty part right there, so that we are getting a coverage all the way. What I want to warn you about is one of the biggest things that young clarinetists have troubles with, one of the biggest things that people get in trouble with, is that they accidentally push one of these side keys. So if you're over here, and instead of having that really nice C shape like you did when you held the apple or held the tennis ball, you collapse it and you push this key, it won't work. And you're going to get some weird squeaky noise and it's going to be really hard to play. So you have to have that perfect C shape so that we're not pushing that key. We don't want to push this by accident with the side of our finger. Same thing with the right hand. You see these 4 side keys here? If I just start lazily pushing them down and I start pushing on them and I lay my hand down, then you're going to get some weird squeaks. So instead we have to straighten the hands out, make that perfect C, and make sure that the sides of our fingers are not pushing any of the side keys, okay? Those are, every time that one of these other keys is pushed, this is for specific notes. But you have to have the specific fingerings down for those notes to be activated. Otherwise you get weird squeaks and squawks and it's hard to play. So we want to make sure that we have a really good hand position when we do it. And we're using that meaty part of our fingers, again, to cover the holes all the way. Any leaks whatsoever is going to cause squeaks on the clarinet. And that is how we hold the clarinet. This is our finger position for clarinet. Thank you for watching.